Hello everyone. So I am about to take my first trade in S&P 500, and before I do that, I'll be doing my price action analysis. And looking closely into the S&P 500 chart, we can clearly see since Corona, this has been in a really good bull run. There was one retracement during 21-22, and the most recent one was during the tariffs when Donald Trump um, made some tariff changes in US foreign policy, and after that, since after that, this has been in a constant bull run. On a monthly um, time time frame, we can clearly see that the market is trying to push higher, but it has not been able to do so since November, and that is a sign of bearishness. No change in November, no change in December. January was a little peak, and now February. So there needs to be some correction in the market in order to absorb the global uncertainties. Now, if I go to weekly time frame, we can see, yeah, there is a bull run, but then you can see the price action is kind of choppy, and this can this doesn't mean it's absolutely bearish, but on the top, when you see consolidation like this, we need to dig deeper to understand where the market is really heading. Then, because I will be taking an intraday trade, I'll quickly check the hourly chart. And on an hourly chart, we can clearly see some sign of um, consolidation to bearishness. Um, if we look here, mm, there is a trend line rejection on this key levels. Then there is support. This is actually a support zone. So we can see a support zone here. There was a breakout of this zone, but it was kind of a fake breakout, or there was an early retracement. I'm not truly sure what that happened here. We'll have to inspect the volume. But apart from that, I don't see any other immediate trends. There is some support here as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if I go to 15-minute chart, what I see is now we have to look through, because this is now micro level in inspection. We'll have to first check how the volume has been. So we go back and see how the volume was during this period when this fall happened. In order to do that, let's expand the on balance volume and expand it a little bit. So during this consolidation phase, the volume was truly choppy. The price made a low and so did the volume. And then you can see the price started to rise and so did the volume. But within one candle, this structure was broken. And that led to a big retracement. Following the move, the volume was following the price, which is good. It took support at this level, and then since then the volume started to rise again. So this is there is nothing wrong in here. If I extend forward, now this is the new baseline volume of this trend. If I extend further, when the price started to drop, the volume started to drop again, and it again came back to this initial support zone, and there we can see a pullback, which is again good. Mm, which is again good. Then you can see, this is not good. So you can see this push. The volume was in a downtrend and the price got up, got down, and as it was reaching the top, the overall volume is downsided. What this means? This means that there is not enough fuel for for the price. And this trend line was of course not drawn at that time, but whatever is happening now is in itself on a bearish volume, on a weak volume, I should rather say. So that's why there was this, you know, when it reached this point, um, the volume got extremely choppy, and instead of taking a bullish trade here, we should have taken a bearish trade because we have evidence coming in from the volume. So what we have to do next is we have to check the check other indicators here and check other indicators during this period. Going forward, there was retracement on the volume followed it. There was a pullback, again a trend line rejection because the volume is on a negative node. There was the volume has weakened quite enough. If we extend it further, we see some volume consolidation on a rising price. Up till here to here, this is absolute volume consolidation. Weak move will be rejected. It got rejected. Now we have to see what happens during this fake breakout, kind of fake breakout. So the volume again got rejected. It's following the price. That's good. There was a pullback. Again, the volume followed the price. Really good. And then now what we have is volume buildup. So nothing wrong here. Let's quickly, so we'll just inspect some indicators on. So this is RSI for strength. Let's go back and see how the RSI behaved. Mm, During this period, the RSI was 8, which is very, very low. And on the pullback, we see the the price rising, the RSI going up. It made a low, which is on, it made a higher low at a value of 34, and this was 35. Mm, Can't say if this is an RSI divergence. No. Then RSI spiked, fall again. Yeah, then now you can clearly see the divergence, why this move happened on a low volume. So you can see there was a it was a lower low in terms of this one, and it was below this one, so it's a lower low. The RSI was close to 29. It made again a low. This was again 28. RSI was nope, it was almost the same, so we can't say this is divergence. The divergence formed a bigger value of RSI at this junction. And usually when this sort of things happen, you have to look for a candle pattern. Now, at the same time, we will inspect one more thing, which is the MACD. So the short-term momentum against the long-term momentum. So When the price rose, the momentum gained. Going forth, the momentum came down. On this pullback, there was not much momentum. It continued. Now you can see um, this price rejection, this pullback is not having much of momentum difference. It is a bearish move, but the intensity of the momentum is relatively weak. How do I say that? You can compare it with this intensity, you can compare it with this intensity. So you can clearly see that the intensity of the pullbacks are dying. And then when finally we came here, it was almost dead. And on this candle, we can see it flipping. So this is a good um, setup. Now, if I go and see that the RSI started rising, how was the volume here? The volume also helped, but as you can see, we discussed like this is a falling volume. This move, even though it is price is going higher, there is some momentum building, there is some strength building. The volume is not truly supporting this move, and so it falls. Oh, that's good. Let's go back and see what happened to RSI. So RSI here was again 26, which is low. The price again made a lower low consecutively, and the RSI showed the divergence that something bullish is happening. And again, if I have to compare the momentum, you can see this was a good bearish momentum. This slowed down. We had a pullback. We had a good momentum. So yeah, nothing really wrong. Mm. So this is a good momentum. The volume was supporting up till here. It's only that the RSI divergence. So can we take a trade here? No. Just because we see an RSI divergence doesn't mean that it may rebound. There can be a pullback, but it cannot be a bullish move. So this has momentum. The RSI is building, but the most important indicator is the volume. So let's now finally just check the volume. The volume is good. The volume is rising, but in long run, if the price has to continue, so if the price has to continue, it should break somewhere here. The volume should break here. Before that, we cannot say that the price is really bullish. And yeah, so my view is bearish, and what eventually could happen is the market can open the market can open gap up, maybe try to break this trend line, but would eventually fail. If it opens a gap down, there is support here, so it will then rebound to break this trend line, but I don't see that positively unless there is a volume change. So my view is bearish. So yeah, let's see how it goes, and hope this helps you in understanding the price action. Thank you.